Welcome all, this is Raj Kumar. In this video, you are going to see how a web page works. You may take any browser. Here I take an example as a Google. So in Google, I type facebook.com. Facebook.com. Uh, if I type and press enter means it will go to the Facebook page. The browser will display the Facebook page. So how it happens? First of all, you need to know how a web page will be created. The web page is created based on the three main things. One is HTML, another two is CSS and JavaScript. HTML will give the structure to the web page, while CSS will give style to the web page, and JavaScript will give functionality to the web page. What is the structure of the web page? The structure of the web page is what we are seeing in the title of the browser here. Facebook login sign up. This is the structure. This title happens due to the HTML. And what we are seeing Facebook, the Facebook heading is created by using HTML, and this content Facebook helps us you connect and share in place in your life. This content and all created using the HTML. So it will basically give the structure to the web page. So the structure of the web page is created by using the HTML, and another thing is CSS. The CSS will give style to the web page. Here what we see is login button. Login button looks in blue color. Here what we see is green new account button. This account button is looks in green color. See here, if I move the cursor to the button means it will gives dark color. Then I move the cursor out of the button means it will give light green color. So this may happens due to the CSS. So this is the CSS. The CSS will give the style to the browser, and the functionality. Here I go to the title of the web page means the small message box will be displayed. See here, the small message box will be displayed. Can you able to see? Yeah, the small message box will be displayed. This is because of the JavaScript. And here I scroll down or scroll up. This may the functionality is this functionality happens due to the JavaScript. So the JavaScript will give the functionality to the web page. So if you want to create a web page means the three main things we need. One is HTML, and another one is CSS, and another one is JavaScript. Out of this, there are certain things also need to create an web page. But the three main major thing is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So now you guess where the HTML, CSS and JavaScript and all store, whether it will be stored in the browser or some other place. Yeah, I think you may guess right. It will store in the some other place. Some other place means it will stored in the Facebook server. Okay, let me see in the diagram here. So it will store. It may take a little confusion. First time if you saying means it will take a little confusion. After my explanation, you may get clear out of this. Okay. The HTML, CSS and JavaScript are stored in the Facebook server. Here you see the Facebook server. From the Facebook server only, the Chrome browser here, the Chrome browser will get and display the Facebook page. So the HTML and CSS and JavaScript are stored in the Facebook server. If you type youtube.com means it will have separate YouTube server. From the YouTube server only we are getting the HTML, CSS and JavaScript and displaying that YouTube page and all. So here the server has an IP address. Each server has separate IP address. For Facebook it has a separate IP address. See, here the IP address look like this only 157.240 like this only will looks. So each server has a separate IP address. First we see step by step. In the first step, if we type facebook.com URL in the Chrome browser means it will give request to the domain name server. Here we are seeing the domain name server. What is domain name server? Yeah, the domain name server is where the IP address of the domain will store. Domain, the facebook.com IP this IP address, this domain name IP address will store in domain name server. From the domain name server we are getting the Facebook IP address as a response to the browser. Then the browser will identify the Facebook server here by getting the response from the domain name server. So first we giving the request to the domain name server. Why? Because we need the IP address. That Facebook IP address, we does not know the IP address of the Facebook server. So we need the IP address of the Facebook server. So we are giving and request to the domain name server. The domain name server have the IP address of the Facebook domain, that URL facebook.com domain. So it will give so it will return a response as IP address to the browser. So from, so the browser have it, so now the browser having an IP address of the server, so it will give an HTTP request to the server, to Facebook server. How this, the browser will identify correctly the Facebook server bits? Because of the IP address of the Facebook. So each server has a separate IP address. So now the server have the Facebook HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So this server will give response, will return response of HTML, CSS, JavaScript to the browser. Then the browser will render the Facebook page in the browser. The browser will render the Facebook page. Render means it will display the Facebook page. Okay, this this is how the Facebook page will be displayed in the browser. So first, if we type an URL, that facebook.com means it will give an request. What we are sending is a request and what we are getting as a response. So it will give a request to the domain name server. The domain name server will have an IP address of the particular domain, that Facebook domain. So it will return a response as IP address, that Facebook IP address to the browser. So the browser will easily identify the Facebook server. So this this is a Facebook server. So the browser will easily identify the Facebook server by the IP address what we are getting from the domain. So the browser will easily identify the Facebook server, and it will give HTTP request to the Facebook server from the, so the best once it will give the request, the Facebook server will return and response of HTML, CSS, the Facebook HTML, Facebook CSS, Facebook JavaScript to the, will give response to them that it will send and response to the Chrome browser. After that the Chrome browser will display the Facebook page. So this is how the web page will works. This is how the web page will works. Okay, next we are going to see two types of website. One thing is Facebook static website, and another one is dynamic website. What is static website? If we type facebook.com, for me, for I am typing facebook.com in my browser. Okay, it will if I type facebook.com means it will display the Facebook login page. Here my browser will slow because of the net issue. Okay, here the browser will display the Facebook page. This is a static website. If you type facebook.com means like this page only you may get displayed in your browser. So this is a static website. Then dynamic website. What is mean by dynamic website? A dynamic website, so see, if I type YouTube, I am typing youtube.com. Wait a minute. Due to the network issue, it may get slower. Okay. If I type youtube.com means the content of the YouTube page is different for me. If you type youtube.com means the content is differ to you. So it will gives the content based on the user. It will give the contents based on the user. So this is a dynamic website. The same content will be displayed whoever the type the domain name means the same content will display means that is a static website. If the content differs for different user means for example, if you take YouTube, I may get this content because of me, but I'm using this YouTube. If you get if you type youtube.com means you may get different content because of what you seen already before. So the different content is displayed because of the dynamic website. So how the static website is differ from dynamic website in the browser back, this one diagram we see. So the static website has standard HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So it will give a response to the Facebook. For example, if you type facebook.com means it will give that Facebook. It will display the facebook.com. But in dynamic website, in it will works on the back end. The back end of the back end means the server will connected to the database. So the database will store the content of the different user. So for example, I am Rajkumar. Rajkumar. I'm typing that youtube.com means that Rajkumar data content is generated at that time only. It will store the Rajkumar HTML, CSS, JavaScript, YouTube content, and it will generate that YouTube content at that time only by using Node, Express, and all. You may see later this and all what is this. Okay, so the HTML of Rajkumar, YouTube, CSS, JavaScript, and are stored in the database. From the database generated at that time only. If I type youtube.com means the by logging in the Gmail, Rajkumar, that my Gmail. In the Gmail, I typing youtube.com means it will display what content related to me from the database. From the database will generate at that time only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It will send to the server, and the server will work as usual. It will give response of Rajkumar YouTube HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It will return the response to the Chrome browser, and the Chrome browser will display the youtube.com. So this domain name server and all as usual only works. First step, it will go to the domain name. After that, it will get a response. It will get a response from the domain name server, and after that it will go to the particular what domain we are typing means that that domain it will goes, and then it will get a response from that server. So this is how the web page works. So in this video you may get clear about the basics of how the web page will works. If you really clear means you can like, comment, or share this video to your friends. Okay, thank you.